The year was 1903 when the Lieutenant Governor of Bengal, J.A. Baudillon, visited the Konark Sun Temple with his team. This visit was not ordinary because at that time he saw something in the temple which compelled them to order the closing of all doors of this 800-year-old magnificent temple and fill it with sand and silt. Even today, 123 years later, this temple remains closed with its hidden mysteries inside the Sanctum Sanctorum. But the question arises, why was this done? The thing to ponder is that 800 years ago, neither was cement invented nor modern technology. So how was the Konark Sun Temple constructed in that era? This amazing temple used an advanced iron lock system that kept its structure stable. The most astonishing thing is that the wheels of this temple, which were operated by the movement of the sun and moon, function like an ancient time device and still show accurate time today. But the most astonishing thing was that the statue of Lord Surya hung in the air without any support. This miraculous technique remains a mystery for modern engineering and science even today. Was it? The massive 52-ton magnet placed at the temple's peak, which made this miracle possible. Where was it brought from and where is it now? In the year 2022, the government of India planned to remove the sand from this temple and open its Sanctum Sanctorum. But this work has not been completed till today. The question is there some secret hidden inside the Sanctum Sanctorum that has been kept hidden from the world? Will we ever know what is inside this magnificent structure? To learn about all these mysteries, ancient techniques, fascinating history, and facts related to science, stay tuned to this documentary. Because this is not just the story of a temple, but an amazing proof of ancient India's science and art that will astonish you. The Konark Sun Temple is situated on the banks of the Chandrabhaga River, about 35 kilometers from Puri district in Odisha. This is not just a temple, but a specimen of ancient Indian knowledge, science, and art that still amazes the world today. This temple, built in the shape of a chariot for the sun with 7 horses and 24 wheels, is not only an architectural marvel, but also evidence of ancient techniques for astronomical calculations and measuring time. Recognizing its historical and cultural importance, UNESCO declared it a World Heritage Site in 1984. This temple is a unique symbol of India's rich heritage and ancient technology. So now, the question that must surely arise in all of our minds is who built such a wonderful and advanced temple? To find the answer, we have to go back to the Dwapara Yuga, where Lord Krishna's son, Samba, received a curse. And this is where the story of the first Sun Temple's construction begins. Samba was the son of Lord Shri Krishna and Jambavati. He was famous for his amazing beauty and charming personality, but this also became his greatest weakness. Samba's arrogance began to grow, and he started considering himself the best. Narad Muni, who often acted as a messenger between gods and humans, provoked Samba. Narad said to Samba,
"Your beauty is unique. Don't you want to show your amazing charm among the gopis?"
The snake, in arrogance, went among the gopis, which Lord Shri Krishna found extremely inappropriate. Lord Shri Krishna gave the snake a harsh curse for this disrespectful act. "Your beautiful body will now be afflicted with leprosy." The curse took effect immediately, and the snake's body became deformed. Terrible sores and boils appeared on their body. The snake went to various sages to get relief from their suffering. Eventually, they met the sage Maharishi Katak. The sage said to the snake,
"You must perform rigorous penance for the sun god." Only the sun god can free you from this illness.
Maharshi Katak advised them to go to Mitra forest on the banks of the Chandrabhaga river and perform penance for 12 years. Samb started penance on the bank of the Chandrabhaga river. For 12 years, he renounced food and water and performed rigorous penance. Focusing solely on Surya Dev day and night, he immersed his soul in penance. The sun. God was pleased with the snake's hard penance. The sun, God appeared to him and said,
O serpent, your penance has succeeded. I bless you to be free from disease. Your leprosy will be cured. Your beauty and health will return.
With the blessings of the sun god, the snake's leprosy was cured. Its body became beautiful and healthy again. After being freed by the blessings of the sun god, the snake resolved to build a grand temple to express gratitude. At the same place where he had meditated, he had a temple built for the sun god. Due to this mythological story, this place was named Konark, where Kon means direction and Ark means sun. This temple was constructed in such a way that the first ray of the sun falls directly on the sanctum sanctorum. If you are visiting our channel for the first time, don't forget to subscribe and make sure to like the video. So, is the temple we are looking at today the Sun Temple built by Lord Krishna's son, Samb? No, friends. According to historians, the temple we see today was constructed for the fourth time. Today's Konark Sun Temple was built in the 13th century by the illustrious king of the Ganga dynasty, constructed during the reign of Simhadeva Pratham. It was built. This temple is a marvelous example of Indian architecture and religious heritage, constructed in honor of the sun god. A significant inspirational story is associated with the construction of the Konark Sun Temple. This inspiration was Queen Mother Kasturi Devi. Queen Kasturi Devi gave a special message to her son, the great king of the Ganga dynasty, Narasimha Deva I. They reminded Narasimha Deva that his father had built a magnificent temple of Lord Jagannath, which still remains a center of devotion and faith. They said,
Life cannot be imagined without the sun god. Build such a magnificent temple that keeps the glory of the sun alive for ages and becomes a symbol of the grandeur and power of the Gangavansh dynasty.
This request was not just a reflection of religious faith, but also a resolution to showcase the power, splendor, and glory of the Ganga dynasty to the entire world. Inspired by the Queen Mother, Narasimhadeva I resolved to construct an exceptional and timeless temple at Konark in the symbolic form of the chariot of the sun god with 7 horses. The king ordered his minister to find the best architect for the construction of this grand sun temple. The minister chose the great and skilled craftsman of that time, Bisu Maharana, for this task. On the king's orders, construction of the Konark Sun Temple began on the banks of the Chandrabhaga river. This temple was built between the years 1238 and 1264. It took 12 years to complete the temple, and during this time, approximately 1,200 skilled craftsmen shaped this marvelous structure with their hard work and dedication day and night. Bisu Maharana's skill and expertise are living evidence of that era's ancient engineering. He, along with his team, constructed the temple using sandstone. The special thing is that iron plates, that is, iron clamps, were used to join these stones, which today we can call a modern iron lock system. This technique reflects the advanced engineering knowledge of that time and proves how capable and advanced our ancestors were technically. When it came time to place the pinnacle at the final stage of the temple's construction, the artisans' several attempts failed. Seeing this, King Narasimhadev became angry and gave an order.
If the pinnacle is not installed before sunrise, all the craftsmen will be sentenced to death.
Hearing this, an atmosphere of fear and despair enveloped the construction site. The chief sculptor, Bisu Maharana, had a heavy crisis on his shoulders. At the same time, his 12-year-old son Dharampada arrived there. Dharampada, who had never seen his father since birth, had come here with his mother's permission. When he saw that all the artisans were in trouble and his father was immersed in worry, he asked,
Father, I can solve this problem. Will you allow me?
Dharmapada understood his father's art and engineering from childhood. Filled with confidence, this 12-year-old boy climbed to the temple's peak slowly in the dark of night. With his skill and calculations, he expertly installed the kalash. The work that an experienced craftsman could not accomplish in Brahma years, Dharmapada achieved in a few hours. But this success for Dharmapada, it became a matter of concern. She felt
That when the king found
it
out,
would be understood that this work was done by a 12-year-old boy, so the rest of the artisans will be deemed incompetent and punished. To save his father's life and those of the artisans, Dharmapada, from the peak, leap into the Chandrabhaga river by the temple and sacrificed their life.
in the morning
The king
when
saw the urn installed on the temple's pinnacle and the sun god statue swinging in the air, and he was extremely pleased. He decided on the day of Magh Shukla Saptami for the temple's consecration. But as soon as the consecration of the temple was completed, some mysterious events began to happen. First, a large statue from the temple's peak fell down. Then, the stones of the temple started falling on their own. When King Narasimhadev learned that the first day of the temple's construction began with the sacrifice of a 12-year-old boy, he considered it inauspicious and halted the worship in the temple. For years, this magnificent temple remained deserted, and gradually, dense forests grew around it. The doors of the Konark Sun Temple have been closed for the past 123 years. But the question arises, who closed these doors and why? The year was 1903, when India was under British rule. At that time, Bengal's Lieutenant Governor J.A. Bourdillon visited this historic temple. Upon seeing the condition of the temple, they felt that this magnificent structure might soon completely collapse. To save it, they took a unique step. They had the temple's sanctum filled with sand and all its doors closed. The governor argued that the sand would support the weight of the temple's interior, keeping the structure safe. At the time, this step was considered correct because technology resources were very limited. However, how right this decision was is still a matter of debate today. But in history, only praise has been written for the British. Now the question arises, after the country's independence, did anyone try to open the doors of this temple? Despite modern technology over the years, why has no one been able to enter this sanctum? But in the year 2020, a plan was made by the Archaeological Survey of India. The renovation of this ancient temple and the work of removing the sand from inside it began. It is hoped that soon the government of India will fulfill the dream of completely removing this sand and permanently opening the doors of the temple. But for now, when you go to visit the temple, so you can only admire the amazing architecture and beauty of its exterior. You can see the house is still closed to the general public. Now, we talk about the amazing architecture of the Konark Sun Temple. Known for its grandeur and advanced techniques, the temple's 52-ton massive magnet, which balanced the entire structure, and the Ashtadhatu idol of Lord Surya Dev in the sanctum, which floated in the air, still remains a mystery today. In addition,
Inside the
massive
temple,
wheels, which are of the chariot of the sun god, function as a natural sun clock and still indicate the correct time
they
today.
boil.
This is a marvelous creation of ancient Indian engineering and
It
astronomy.
is an example.
Let's delve into the depths of these mysteries. The Konark Sun Temple was constructed in such a way that the first rays of sunrise would fall directly on the statue of the sun god located in the temple's sanctum. This astonishing, the movement of the sun and the orbit of the earth were considered. The temple is mainly made of sandstone and granite, which gives it a nature strong against artificial disasters.
He used to make ghosts. Friends.
A question for you. Besides the Konark Sun Temple, do you know of any other ancient sun temple in India? If you do, please share its name and feature in the comments so that others can also learn about this temple. Your contribution will be enlightening for everyone. Let's move forward. The Konark Sun Temple is designed as the chariot of the sun god, symbolizing the movement of the sun god and the cycle of time. In Hindu Vedic tradition, the sun is depicted rising in the east and traveling swiftly across the sky in a chariot drawn by 7 horses. This chariot is being pulled by 7 horses. These horses, they represent the 7 colors of the rainbow. However, due to time and invasions, only 1 horse statue remains today. The 7 horses represent the 7 days of the week. Astronomers reject this notion because the 7 days of the week have no connection with the sun. So the question arises, why is the chariot of the sun god pulled by 7 horses? If you speak with the local elders of Konark, they share an interesting piece of information. They say that each horse was painted like the different colors of the rainbow. As we know, the great scientist Isaac Newton discovered in 1666 that sunlight is not white but is composed of 7 colors. But this temple was built 400 years before Newton's theory. So, how did the ancient builders know that the sun's rays are actually made of 7 colors? And most importantly, why didn't historians write about this amazing information in their books? One thing is certain, that the origin of most scientific discoveries is hidden somewhere in ancient India. The temple has 12 pairs of wheels, representing the 12 months of the year. Each wheel has 8 spokes, and the time interval between every 2 spokes is 3 hours. If you add when the intervals are added, the whole totals 24 hours. This sun clock, it is read in the direction from 12 o'clock to 1:30, then from 3 o'clock to 4:30. 30 slots in every 90-minute interval.
And every
1 notch is equal to 3 minutes. If you want to know the exact time, you have to place your finger at the center of the wheel. The shadow of your finger will show the time, and the notches will indicate the minutes. This ancient sundial is a wonderful example of astronomical calculation and science. There was a unique aspect of the temple structure, the combination of magnet and iron. A 52-ton enormous magnetic stone was placed at the temple's peak, and iron plates were used to join the stones, which we know today as the iron lock system. This magnetic stone, combined with the iron plates in the temple walls, kept the entire temple stable and balanced. The idol of sun god, made of 8 metals located in the Sanctum Sanctorum, appeared to float in the air due to magnetic force. This technique, the science and engine certainty, it is a testament to skill. Iron plates and magnetic stones created a diamagnetic field which provided stability to the statue. When foreign traders visited the temple and saw this idol floating in the air, they were amazed. This is evidence of the unique engineering and astronomical calculation skills of Indians of that time. And this magnet was so powerful that the compasses of the ships passing by the temple,
They used to stop working nearby.
ships used to lose their way and sometimes get wrecked and sink. In this attracted the attention of foreign traders and invaders to this temple. Therefore, the Portuguese sailors named the Konark Temple the Black Pagoda. It is believed that Portuguese sailors removed this powerful magnet placed at the top of the temple to save their navigation system. They claimed to load it onto their ship to take it to their country. But after removing this magnet, the structure of the temple became unbalanced, and over time, it began to deteriorate. This event is still a significant part of history and mystery today. And one story about the destruction of the temple is that around the year 1568, a Muslim general of the Bengal Sultanate named Kala Pahad attacked several temples in Odisha. These temples included the Konark Sun Temple, Kamakya Devi Temple, and the Jagannath Puri Temple. Kala Pahad, whose original name was Kala Chandra Ray, was a devout Vaishnav Brahmin. However, due to his love for Sultan's daughter Gulnaz, he converted to Islam. If you want to learn about the mysteries of the Kamakya Devi Temple and the Jagannath Puri Temple, you can find the link to their documentary in the description. Be sure to watch it and learn about these amazing ancient temples of our culture. According to the Madalapanji text, when Kala Pahad went inside the Konark temple, he saw the huge idol of Lord Surya floating in the air and was astonished. After that, he attacked the temple's walls and main structure with his army. Kala Pahad succeeded in removing the 52 tons heavy magnet mounted at the top of the temple. As soon as the magnet was removed, this grand temple, 227 feet high, turned into a heap of stones. And in 1568, Odisha completely came under Muslim rule, and continuous efforts were made to demolish Hindu temples. At this time, the priest of the Sun Temple of Konark, the custodians, removed the idol of the sun god and hid it in the sand. Later, the idol was sent to Puri, where it was installed in the Indra Temple, located in the courtyard of the Jagannath Temple.
Although
Some believe that the statue of Surya Dev, housed in the National Museum in New Delhi, is the main statue of the Konark Sun Temple. This mystery is still being discussed today. According to the Chinese scholar Huaizhang, in the 7th century AD, there were many tall and grand buildings in Konark. This place was a confluence of people from various religions and sects, where Hindus, Buddhists, and the affluent from other
Funny
religions
people.
lived together harmoniously. In the 2nd century AD, Greek geographer Claudius Ptolemy mentioned Konark by the name Kanagar, which was a famous seaport at that time. In Indian texts, it is also known as Kayanapara, which has been an important center of trade since ancient times. Initially, some historians believed that the Konark Sun Temple was never completed and collapsed during construction. However, the Kanduli copper plates and inscriptions related to the reign of Narasimhadeva IV in the year 1384 refute this notion. This inscription clearly indicates that the temple was not only completed, but was also an active place of worship. Abul Fazl, who was a prominent historian in Emperor Akbar's court, visited Odisha in 1580 AD and wrote in his book Aini Akbari that the Konark temple was built by Narasimhadeva, The notable thing is, Abul Fazl did not mention the dilapidated state of the Konark temple in his work. This implies that in 1580 Common Era, the temple was in good condition. According to Thomas Donaldson's research, various surveys and repair records found in early 17th century texts indicate that the main damage to the Konark Sun Temple occurred between the end of the 16th century and the beginning of the 17th century. Thus, records also make it clear that in the early 17th century, the temple was still an active site of worship. In the latter half of the 18th century, the Aruna pillar was removed from the Konark Sun Temple. The Maratha ascetic Goswami installed this pillar at the Lion Gate of the Jagannath Temple in Puri. This pillar is still there today and symbolizes the historical connection from Konark to Puri. If we look at today's temples, we find that they have only become a means of faith and commerce. Statues of all deities are arranged for the convenience of the devotees, and a donation box is placed near each statue so that devotees can offer some money. But if you look at temples 500 to 600 years old, you will see a big difference between the two. Temples like Konark were not built for any faith. They were akin to an encyclopedia, museum, or university, which were built with the purpose of educating people. Therefore, it would not be appropriate to call the Konark temple solely a Hindu temple, because people of every religion could come here and learn something.
So, friends,
This was the story of the Konark Sun Temple, a documentary based on its history, mystery, and the advanced technology of ancient India. Even if you don't like, comment, and subscribe to the video, that's fine. But do share it with your friends and relatives so they can also learn about the technology and science of ancient India. See you soon with another new documentary. Until then, thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.